Put on your helmets and buckle your chin straps for the wildest podcast held in the Steel City. Dubs and Chickenhawk will give you a taste of the past in fried jumbo.
Let's get right to it, I guess.
Well, who's our guest today, Todd?
Our guest today happens to be my old college roommate back in the day in upstate New York.
Hold up one second. I feel sorry for this person already. So he had to live with you actually for, like, in those little tiny rooms?
Survive is the word. Survive, my friend.
All right.
So it's none other than a Mr. David Cassidy. Come on in there, Dave.
Partridge Family, Dave.
It could be Partridge Family.
Teen Idol.
Teen Idol,
Hey,
David
good to
Cassidy.
see you.
Here's the David. Okay, Dave, thanks, buddy.
Thank you guys.
All right.
Well, Dave, if you don't mind, for everybody listening here and watching us, if you could just fill us in on where you're at today in life, who you are, what's going on, what's your family life like, and then we're going to throw it back to when you were a kid, just to kind of discover some of these nuggets on how you got to where you're at and kind of who you are. Okay, if you don't mind, just let us know who you are.
I'm an attorney. I've been an attorney for 28 years. I got my own practice now. Just opened it up a few months ago. It's called Vlasic and Cassidy. Two lawyers got together. We got a nice little office, staff, and we're developing a firm. I had worked in big firms my whole life.
Did you work in the city or in New Jersey?
I'm from New Jersey now. I worked in New York City for many years.
Okay.
Had offices in Jersey and New York City. Okay. And really grounded out for years as a young lawyer working 12-hour days and more. Now it's a little more relaxed, but I have my own firm, so I'm back to grinding away here.
Yeah, but that's, what you're doing it for a different purpose now, right? It just feels different. It feels different. I had my own company there for a while, too, so it feels different. Good stuff, man.
What do you focus on with your law practice?
So I'm an employment lawyer.
No.
I do labor and employment, represent companies with actions by employees, and I also represent employees against the employer. My partner does personal injury, workers' comp.
Yeah.
Okay.
Type of law.
And anything to make money because you're an attorney. So that's kind of the gig, too. When you have a small firm, you got to be I imagine you have to do a little bit of everything, right? And you know what you're doing. Christ, you've been around, you're doing it for freaking umpteen age. So kids, family, wife, dogs,
So
what do you got?
One child, 14-year-old. I'm divorced. Been divorced 13 years. That's it.
You're still with your wife and all that. That's all good, right?
Yeah, we get along very well.
Yeah,
we co-parent and spend a lot of time together still.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case initially, but over the years, when you have a kid, you got to get along. We don't have an extended family.
Right.
So it's basically me and her and the boy.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's great.
That's great.
But you happen to be in Pittsburgh for some hockey and all that stuff. So he was in the neighborhood, and I said, damn, we got to get Mr. Cassidy on. At least he can sing a few Partridge Family songs.
Yeah. So your son plays travel hockey, I guess, then, huh?
Yeah, that's taken over my life, really.
Yeah, it
when he was
does.
about 7, he said he wanted to play hockey. I never played. I didn't watch it, to be honest with you, just a little bit on TV.
Right.
First time I saw him skate, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And he loves it. He's addicted
That's
to it.
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty
Works
cool.
very hard at it.
And you know what? It does. No matter what, it builds a bond, right? It is. It's good shit. Chris and I, we've lived through some of that stuff, kids' activities, kids' sports, all that stuff. So it does build a bond. And you do burn a lot of cash and time, but it is what it is.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Hey, Dave, if you don't mind, let's throw it back to when you were a kid because you're working in Jersey now. You worked in New York City. Beautiful places. Not really. If you're from Pittsburgh, it's not really a beautiful place, but it is what it is, buddy. So there you are now. And then you and I went to school in upstate New York. Let's throw it back to when you were a kid. Where are you from? All that other stuff. Let's kind of figure out what the hell made you, huh?
Well, yeah. I was born and raised in a small town outside Schenectady called Rotterdam, New York. I call it a small town. I actually had a pretty good population, but it was pretty rural like this.
Yeah.
This area reminds me of where I grew up.
Right.
A lot of farms.
Right.
And
I thought you grew up near the Catskills. Were you close to there or what?
I was about an hour north of there.
North of the Catskills.
Yeah.
So what the hell's up there? Like nothing.
I was in between the Adirondacks,
Yeah.
which is really nothing, and then the Catskills,
Which is next to nothing.
Next to nothing. Exactly. Well, Albany's a pretty good-sized city. So
Right.
The Albany, Schenectady, Troy area was like the city. I was west of there, much more rural.
Yeah, we had a good friend who went to Union College in Schenectady.
Yeah.
Union, yeah.
Danny Stewart.
Danny Stewart, you broke all the records.
Love Union College.
Broke all the records at Union.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was a
football.
quarterback.
Oh, is that right?
I think he broke all NCAA records, didn't he?
Yeah, he threw the most consecutive touchdown passes, I think, in NCAA history.
Right.
Like, so he
Games.
started as a freshman, right? And he threw a touchdown pass in that first freshman game. But then he threw one every single game until he got out of there. And I think it was like 44 in a row.
Yeah. He's an Irwin playground alum athlete where we
see
grew
the
up.
sign here?
Everybody, yeah.
I like it. So Union was in downtown Schenectady.
Okay.
Which was kind of a rough area, to be honest with you. And Union is plopped right in the middle of it. It's beautiful, right? Typical college campus. To me, that was like the place that you want to go. That's where all the smart people, people were at Union. And I'd walk through there. I actually took some summer courses when I was 14. It was like, wow, Union College. It was really amazing to look at.
Yeah.
Wow. So
they ended up winning the national championship
when he was there.
Yeah, they won the Alonzo Stagg Bowl or whatever that is.
From Union.
Yeah,
how about
Union.
that?
I think
Boy from Irwin makes your hometown proud.
Union won a hockey championship. They have a kid that came through there as Ghost to be Air. He's still playing, and he went to the NHL. He's very good.
Wow.
And he carried Union.
Yeah, of course. One guy that good, it's going to like blow people off their doors.
Yeah.
Talked about your childhood. You play sports.
Not
What's
really.
up?
No.
No?
No. I had a single mom. Parents got divorced when I was 1.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's 1968. Different than now. Like, you go in a neighborhood, every other house, someone's divorced, separated.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Back
that.
when I grew up, there was a little bit of a stigma.
Sure.
Oh, God,
So I didn't have dad growing up.
Because your mom's from that town, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that had to be like, there's a little bit of a, I don't want to say, but it could be like a black marker back in the day, right? They saw it as a little bit of a stigma, right?
A little bit.
And I know your mom, she's like one of the nicest humans you ever want to meet. She's Aunt B, for God's sakes. How'd she raise you?
Yeah. She worked 2 jobs. She just broke her hip.
Oh, shit, sorry to hear
Last
that.
night, yeah.
Oh, damn.
Last night.
Yeah.
You better get up there,
sorry
kid.
to hear that.
She's at in the University of Tennessee Hospital.
Oh, she's down in Tennessee now?
Yeah, with her sister. And
Oh, yeah, because they're tight as hell, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, back in those days, I imagine a town like that, if you grew up there, your mom, she's tight as heck with her siblings, and her mom and dad probably, if they were alive or if they still are alive, I don't know.
So when I was born, at my house, we had a big Italian family, right? There were 6 siblings.
Right.
And I lived in this house here. My Aunt Ann, who's my mom's older sister by 2 years, lived across the street.
Okay.
And then her other sister was 13 years older, lived next door.
Oh, wow.
So when I grew up, I had
all your cousins and stuff.
I was trying to count last night, 12, 13 cousins.
Yeah.
All in a circle there.
2 uncles, 4 aunts.
All right there.
Within a very short area.
Yeah.
Miles.
Yeah.
And so is that who you hung out with and played with, or was there kind of a local little gang of kids, or what was it?
Yeah, there was a local gang of kids.
Was there?
But it was more family.
No shit.
Yeah, it's only
I've met your cousin before. What's his name?
Joe.
Joey. He's in Europe or something, I believe.
He's in
Right?
Switzerland still, yeah.
Switzerland.
He went to Annapolis, then he went to Yale. He was on a different level than me with the brains.
I don't know, dude.
I don't know. You're a pretty
cat.
smart cat. RIT. And then where did you get your law degree from?
I went to I went to law school. I worked for 3 years. After, when I left RIT, I went right to Jersey. I
Why?
started working.
Just digging it.
Joe was there
No, I had a cousin,
in Jersey.
Italian cousin, 18 years older, who had a business.
Okay.
He said, "Come work for me." And
No
I went
shit.
Right there. I mean, I didn't have one day off. Right after graduation, I was working one day, and I loved it. Jersey Shore.
You drove home in your, what do you call that thing that you wear? Your gown, cap and gown straight to the Jersey Shore to get to work.
My family came. He had a big motorhome. I mean, big.
Yeah.
38 feet.
Holy hell, that's huge. Yeah.
And the whole family came to my graduation.
Oh, no shit.
And we all
wonderful.
got in a motorhome,
Yeah.
and we drove right to Jersey. And I hadn't been to RIT until about 2 years ago. I never went back.
Yeah, I never went back either.
I would
Now,
go
did your
out.
dad not stay part of your life?
No, never met him.
Never met him?
No.
As
Oh,
an
wow.
adult or in your memory?
Never
even-
never came through anywhere.
It's actually, my mom speaks very highly of him. He went in the military and, back in the 60s, met somebody and
Yeah.
then led to another. So it wasn't, it wasn't a bad thing. Like there was no one disparaging. He just went in that direction, and and my family embraced me as.
And you had that whole families around you, which was wonderful.
And my grandmother was from Italy, didn't speak English. She lived with us.
Wow, what was their last name?
Osta.
Okay,
and so she lived with you,
and she didn't speak English,
and
I wasn't allowed to speak Italian because that first generation type family wanted us to be American.
Right.
We never spoke of the old country, and we want to go back to Italy. No, my family. No, we're Americans.
Yeah.
Both my uncles fought in World War II. That was it.
Yeah.
I can remember my uncle saying to me, "What do you want to talk about Italy for? We left. If it was so great, why did we leave? This is our country. This is what we're."
Wow.
That's why we're here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty
My
awesome.
grandpa was the same way. He came here when he was 10. Never talked about Italy. Had property over there, sold it. He's like, no, I'm American.
That's what's beautiful about America. It's a melting pot at the end of the day, and everybody will assimilate, right? But but you know what's also nice is in today's day and age, families don't stay so close-knit because, hey, you're going to go off to university, school, then you're going to move to Texas, and you move to Seattle, and you move to Jersey. Yeah. And all of a sudden, that core isn't there anymore. What I've noticed, though, is when people start having kids, they damn wish they had their brother or sister beside them or their mom close by to help, right? Because it's
brutal. It's just me and my ex-wife.
Yeah.
There's nobody to call.
Yeah.
Right.
There's nobody to say, can you pick the kid up?
Yeah.
Do something. Years, I couldn't even get someone to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're so used to what do you mean you're not coming, Dad?
Yeah.
I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
So if I had that close-knit group, things would be a lot different.
Oh, yeah.
Hockey.
Oh, yeah.
He has no grandparents. My mom's alive, but
right. She's in Tennessee now.
Mm-hmm. His grandmother passed away a few years ago.
Oh.
Right.
No grandfathers. His grandfather predeceased him. So my son's almost living a mirror of me, except I'm there.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that may be second, third gen, right? Once people get assimilated, their kids get off to the college, and it starts to separate. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of that's missing in America. My opinion is, right? I think a lot of that's missing.
Well, I have noticed, at least in Pittsburgh, a lot of the people that moved away came back. Mm-hmm. There weren't any jobs here. Like in the 80s, U.S. Steel and Westinghouse and all these big companies, they went down the tubes. We stopped making steel in the country. So if you watch a Steeler game, I don't know, Phoenix, wherever, you see a lot of Steeler fans, wherever they're at, whether they're in different parts of the country. It's because everyone left here. It was like mass exodus.
Yeah.
And it's upstate New York, Amsterdam, which is near Rotterdam, Schenectady. Schenectady had the General Electric plant.
Yeah.
40,000 workers.
Yeah.
When I left, I think it was down to 2,500. It was a ghost town. I wanted to get out of that area so bad. There was no commerce.
Yeah.
Everything was moving south.
Right.
There was no, manufacturing and union type jobs.
No blue collar stuff.
Yeah, none of the blue
to build that
stuff.
core of a community, right?
I couldn't get out of there fast enough.
Yeah.
That's what happened here, and then slowly but surely it started coming back in different ways.
Pittsburgh's a bigger city, right? And I think we have the luxury of being closer to D.C. than what most people think. You can get to D.C. in, a couple hours?
2.5, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's money, too, in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I mean, there always was.
The Carnegies, the Mellons were over here, right? So there was that
university.
super big industrial, right? They put a lot of their money into the universities, Carnegie Mellon and stuff like that, which the next gen, which is Chris and I, there were no mill jobs to go to. We had to go to school or go to jail or go to Florida, basically, was kind of it, right?
Yeah, everyone went to Maryland, it seemed like. All our friends ended up graduating college, and they went to D.C. or like Vienna, Virginia, all that corner there, Maryland, Gaithersburg, Rockville. Yeah. But now you're seeing them all.
DC doesn't make anything. It's just politics, right? So that money trickles down from bullshit.
But they have a ton of IBM and just tons of big companies there.
Between Baltimore, D.C., and Northern Virginia. Yeah.
When I went to RIT, I look at the kids nowadays, right? These parents, we're going to tour schools.
Yeah.
They drive and they check them out, right?
Yeah.
They apply to 4 or 5 different schools.
Yeah.
My experience was much limited. I went to RIT because my mother told me that's where I'm going. Because there was a family friend who was successful who went to RIT.
Right. Exactly.
That was the decision making. It wasn't they have this curriculum. This would fit your needs.
Right.
No.
You're going.
We
Mr.
know.
Smith
We know that
really
this guy went there. Yeah.
I think you'll do well there.
I have to give your mom credit. RIT's really a good school.
She did a good job.
She did a great job. You became an attorney. You're very successful. Have a young child.
Yeah,
it's 14 years old, traveling all over the place. Yeah.
So here, I got a couple questions for you. Number one, how and why did you become an attorney, Dave? Because when I left you in school, I got to be honest, you've always a smart kid, but we were the group that kind of caused a little bit of trouble, messed around a little bit with like regular people's minds and shit like that. I didn't even know. I can't even tell you what the hell you were going to school for, and you were my roommate for 2 years.
Well, first of all, what do you mean by regular kids?
Well,
that's a good question.
You know what I mean? There was a lot of kids from like New York City and shit. They had
like people that had money. You mean?
Yeah, they had.
Because we all come from nowhere.
Yeah,
yeah.
And
I mean, the kids that went to college because they wanted to get educated.
Yeah, because they knew what they.
Us that we were having.
They had a clear path. My mom said either you go or you're going to go to the army, right? So you got a choice. There's two of them. You got a big choice here in front of you.
When you go back to college and you think, I can't wait to graduate. I would give anything
to go back.
To go with us living together.
Christ. We had such a blast.
We had a blast. It was the best time of my life.
I do want to know, so you left, you knew this, your uncle or cousin had a big Winnebago, and obviously he made money. So you thought, what the hell? He's making big money. This guy ain't no smarter than me. I could go down with him, right? Is that what you were thinking?
Exactly.
And I'll start making some cash.
And he treated me like a dad.
Awesome.
He was 18 years older, and he was brutal on me.
Oh,
there was no excuses. I called him my Uncle Mickey. He's really my cousin.
Yeah. I've heard you talk.
He was a very successful person. He cut me no quarter. So I was this 18-year-old mama's boy, basically.
Yeah.
And then after school, I'm 21.
Yeah.
I go live with him and work with him. And
what did he do?
He owned...
Are you allowed to tell us?
Yeah. He owned a business that sold water conditioning.
Oh, okay.
Like Culligan.
That's the Culligan stuff, yeah.
And Culligan actually bought him, and he became the CEO of the retail division of Culligan.
Okay.
Wow.
And I eventually worked with him at his water store, what he owned, and then I went to Culligan with him.
Wow.
And I was the youngest GM in the country. I was 23, 24.
Yeah.
I was running a store in Union, New Jersey.
Right.
And my uncle, like if I were a minute late,
yeah.
And in New Jersey, traffic is a thing, right?
It's
like he would say, I don't care. Tomorrow there's going to be traffic. Get here a half hour early.
Yeah. Right. That's exactly right. He's not wrong.
No, he was not. He did me the biggest favor. He cut me no quarter. I couldn't get a butt out or an excuse.
Right.
Yeah.
No excuse.
Right.
So it eventually drove me, though, to, hey, can you relax now? I'm 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're old.
And he always wanted to be a lawyer.
Ah.
Okay.
I had no ambition to be a lawyer.
like I don't know how the hell you got there. One day you said I'm an attorney.
So I kept hearing my uncle say, I should have been a lawyer.
Been a lawyer.
And I got pissed off at him one day, and I said, you know what, I'm going to be a lawyer.
I'll show you.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
I went to this little law school. I applied late. I got in, and I go to this law school, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And I did it out of, I wanted to show somebody that I was going to do this. Yeah. And then I got there, and I loved it. I'll never forget, when I went to law school, I said I wanted to be an environmental...
you're going to save the fish in Schenectady.
I had zero connection with, zero interest in. I would have been horrible at it.
Yeah.
The science of it and all the other stuff.
Biology.
The government.
Oh, yeah.
So that moved, but I loved the process of reading and arguing about cases and all that stuff. It was...
Right.
Fascinating, interesting stuff.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Still do to this day. I used to bring the cleaning people.
The who?
The cleaning people at the law school. At 6 a.m., I would bring them coffee.
Yeah, because you were...
I was the first one there.
First one in there.
Yeah, because you were kicking ass.
I would drive from Springfield to Rotterdam. I would stay with my mom. I'd get up 4:30 in the morning, shoot right back. I didn't go out. I didn't party.
Right.
I didn't date. I did nothing but the law.
The law.
Right.
And I would get there 6 a.m. Then I got to meet these people. And I'd knock and they'd go, yeah, come in. I had my little books and stuff.
Yeah.
So I started bringing Dunkin' Donuts. And
coffee.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
The takeaway for anyone that's watching this is that motivation comes in a lot of different ways.
And timing on it.
And motivation for me has always been, I've responded better when someone said I couldn't do something or they pissed me off. And I said, well, you're going to watch me go do something.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with you. Your uncle or something pissed you off enough and said, you know what?
Chris.
I'm going to just show this guy what I can do. You know, that takes a ton of character. It takes a lot of guts.
I give him a lot of credit for that.
Yeah.
He did not have to. He took me in like his son.
Yeah.
And he treated me like a man.
Yeah.
And he was very strict with me.
But it's great, though.
Yeah,
He taught you. Yeah,
great.
it's great. But it also taught you that, hey, I want to dig and do something else, maybe. Yeah. Todd and I, we keep talking. Our kids are just getting out of college, and they're like, oh, my God, what am I going to do? I have to do this. I got to do that. Life will put you where you need to be.
Yeah, it's funny, huh?
Someone will...
Yeah, but you just
someone will put their arm around you and help you, and then challenge you and ask more of you or whatever. But somehow, some way, by the grace of God and hard work, you get somewhere.
You keep trying to do the right thing, right? Hey, everybody makes mistakes and fumbles sometimes. There ain't no doubt about it. But you keep trying to do the right thing and have some type of inner vision of where life is going to take you because you just want to better yourself or what you're doing, and you will have a crossroads. That's the beauty of America, too, that there's opportunities like that. Right, I really believe that. That's the truth in our country and so many other countries. I've been to a lot. There's just not a lot of opportunities, so you're stuck kind of in a path, right? You can't get the hell out.
I've thought recently about, hey, why don't I do something else,
like a podcast?
Really hard. Yeah, exactly. And I can't bring myself to give it up.
Yeah,
I've asked myself,
dude. I retired 3 years ago. I had to get back into it. I can't. I love it.
Right.
I had to come. I finally came to that thing. I love that shit. I love when I get to work. It's weird as hell.
I was telling my son here on this road trip, because when I talked to you about this, the one thing growing up, like I had a blessing of scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And I do not think kids get enough of that. They get everything handed to them.
Yep.
You know, when I grew up, there was no one to call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no store to go to.
No.
I had to figure it out.
Right.
It was 2 sticks and a match.
All right. Yeah.
There was no one to call to help me out. There was not an abundance of stuff. If something broke, I fixed it.
All right.
Yeah.
Now I'm like a lazy idiot, right? If it breaks, I throw it out and buy a new one. But growing up, I had that blessing of scarcity.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give my son that.
And you learn how to figure life out. It really does help you navigate. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm not going to go to these bars tonight and drink. I'm going back to school. I'm going to kick a little ass, right? Because I know that's how I'm going to fix this shit. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember getting lights shut out, gas turned off, all that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was constant.
I was the same way. But, I worked. My uncle owned a construction company. I had the farm. I worked from a very young age and did something.
Yeah.
Not that changed, losing our house, which happened.
Yeah. Right.
Things like that. Like I had a real scarcity. But my mom never let on to that.
No, they never let you.
She would never let me think. I'm just looking back now saying, geez, we didn't have shit. But she always found a way to provide and never let me feel like a poor kid.
Right.
And I had that big extended family.
Yeah.
So my clothes were sharp.
You need a meatball, you can go across the street.
That's the truth, though.
It is the truth.
I have empathy for these people in difficult situations. They have no one to turn to.
Me too.
Oh, me too. Yeah, we come from.
I wonder why they steal. Like I was.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
If I were placed somewhere else where I didn't have family, what would I have done?
Nobody wants to be poor, and nobody.
Hell no.
I mean, because our parents were dirt poor, but they told us, "Hey, there's one way out of this thing.
Yeah, keep working hard.
Keep working hard.
Don't miss school. You go to school."
My problem is I always had a lot of confidence in myself and like money, especially in my 30s, was coming in.
Yeah.
And it was going
hand
out.
over fist.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a point where I had 3 houses, 3 cars, and I was going for more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Because I always knew I'd make more.
Yeah.
Right? But life
throws you a
curve.
Of course.
And you can get caught short quick.
Oh, yeah.
And it happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody's clear of that.
People, I tell you as a lawyer, I don't care who you think you are.
Yeah.
You are very close to being humbled.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Ain't that the truth? Life can kick you in the shins a little bit here and there. There's no doubt about it.
And there's a million ways to be humbled.
You ever hear the famous quote by Ernest Hemingway? They asked him, how did you go bankrupt?
Bunch of them from him.
He said, gradually, then suddenly.
Gradually, then suddenly.
It's the greatest 3-word sentence.
Gradually, then suddenly.
Gradually, then
He had a lot of good ones, man. He was awesome. He was awesome. So, Dave, I got to get one more thing in here for us.
Yeah.
You went to Bach. All of a sudden, when you you and your college roommates, they move all over the place. You keep in touch here or there. And all of a sudden, Dave's in like Golden Gloves boxing, and you weren't like 24 years old. How old were you?
I was 39.
39.
39, you got into boxing.
But my mom said I did. And I wanted to box.
Yeah.
I love
You were always a
I'm
fighter.
a historian. I like to fight. I'm
Yeah.
not good at it. I will say that as I get older.
Yeah.
Certainly not when I was a kid. I thought I was, but I wasn't. So I want to make that clear. But she wouldn't let me box. My mom would say, "You're too pretty. You're too pretty. You're not boxing.
You're too pretty.
Yeah.
Well, that's what. If you would have had a dad in your house, you probably would have boxed.
So So when I got 39, I'm like, I'm turning 40. I never boxed. I really want to box.
Yeah.
And I walked in a damn little gym, and there was a Polish trainer there. He became a very good friend of mine. And he was kind of stern. He's like, "You want to box?" He's like, "Here's a box." And he would make me step around and do the
dance, the
punch
footwork.
in the air, right? The footwork. Then I was hitting the speed bag.
Yeah.
And this went on for weeks. I'm like, I really want to box.
Yeah, I want to
And
like punch somebody.
He goes, maybe a year.
A year.
A year. You just wanted to get punched in the head.
It happened sooner, but I listened to him and whatever he told me, jump rope, taught myself to jump rope again, got really good at it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then from 38 to about 47, I trained every day. And I fought the Golden Gloves kids, sparred every day. At 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, I would go to that gym and I would train. And I took it seriously. I had 4 amateur fights. Won one of them that I can remember. But it was boxing. I did a little judo and karate. I taught myself, and I took it very seriously. And that other than my son first, law school, boxing has taught me more about life than anything else.
No shit.
It's humbled me.
No shit. Well, you were an attorney.
How so? Was it the humbling aspect of it, or the fact that you have to work so hard at footwork? There's so much more into it, I guess.
Or you're not the athlete you thought you were.
It's hard.
It's hard, right?
It's
Physically.
hard. Physically, it's hard to do, and then to train, it's hard.
Yes.
And then you realize that you get somebody who comes into the gym who looks like a mean thug. Can't fight for shit. And then comes the little accountant who just blistered you, and you're confused going home.
Right.
Saying, my whole perception of the world now
has been taught.
I remember my one fight, there was a guy who was covered in tattoos. And I was scared to death, like the fear, overcoming the fear.
Yeah.
I challenge anybody, you go in a boxing ring, you say you're not afraid, you're full of shit.
Yeah, you got to be afraid.
My boxing coach looks at me and he goes, tattoos don't punch, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was older, right?
Yeah.
And it was a hobby. But I would spar with the Golden Glove kids. I mean, one kid, good friend of mine, gave me a concussion so bad. I went home, laid down, I had the flu-like symptoms.
Sure you would.
Yeah.
I couldn't get out of the damn couch.
Holy hell.
I thought he knocked the flu out of my brain.
Right.
And then I read about it, right?
Yeah.
So I had concussions and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was always that fear. I always had good feet. I got out of there.
Oh, did you?
I wasn't a brawler, man. I was a thinker. And stick and move.
A tactician.
Yeah. Mike Tyson's great line, right? It's the worst trait for a boxer is to be tough.
Yeah. Because you can take a beating.
Yeah, you think you could take it, right?
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah. Nobody.
Well, that's so you were an attorney full time and a boxer.
Yeah, I was on New Jersey News. They had me on. They did a whole thing.
No, sir.
Yeah, they did. They came.
Local attorney's losing his mind going in the boxing.
I whacked the speed bag so fast. I was really good at the speed bag. I was rolling it. They interviewed me. They had me sparring.
Oh my gosh!
I think they spent
There was
the damn.
a dude that was like
film
from Boston that was older. That Mickey something came back in the.
Oh yeah.
Remind me of him a little bit.
So obviously, once that happened, all these other these boxing people you were going to fight wanted a shot at the attorney boxer and knocking your block off.
Oh, dude, listen, all my clients and my friends who go to the bar say, I'd kill you in the ring. I'll put you in that corner. I'm 30 pounds heavier than me. And that's the thing. Boxing teaches you to be humble. Like, right, you would.
Yeah, right.
You got it.
You know?
Because you don't know.
All that
don't know
fight
who's
that
good.
I had.
Yeah.
The anger went away because I knew that I could at least defend myself. So I didn't have the need to do it.
Right.
I wouldn't get road rage. People flip me off. I'm like, you're right. Have a nice day.
What a journey, David.
Yeah.
But so many lessons
journey,
learned
buddy.
from that. You know what I mean? You picked up so many different things about how to live your life with more quality. You were getting rid of some demons in the process as well. It sounds like, you know what I mean? Some anger and dumping some doubt about yourself.
I got about 17 more demons to get rid of, but
Nah, you're doing it now.
Yeah, we're all just a work in progress.
Amen.
Right?
That's so true, buddy. Well, Dave, it was awesome, man. It was great. It was great.
Yeah,
Great to dig in a little bit deeper on your life and have you here. And now people know about this boxing guy from Jersey with your new firm again. What's it called?
Vlasic and Cassidy.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook.
Vlasic and Cassidy.
Seems a lot of good energy here. Seems like there's some good people.
Well.
Yeah, it's great. And I know with your son Marcus playing hockey, that's a love of yours and spending time with him. So we appreciate your time with us, brother. I really do. We appreciate you.
It's great meeting you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, pal.
Guys.